Okay, so I'm gonna be acting as if I'm a school psychologist. The people I'm talking to are Mr. and Mrs. Phillips, which is my last name. It's not an identifier of the student by any means. I have notes here with me that I will be referring to throughout, as well as some information that I have, some test results. So I'm gonna get started. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips. It's good to meet you. I'm here just to discuss some of the assessments that I performed with your student, just to see if there is a learning disability. If so, what could the learning disability be, learning disability, just so moving forward we can provide proper accommodations or modifications if need be. So let's just get right in. The first assessment I performed with your child is the Woodcock-Johnson 3 test of achievement. Some great things I saw were in reading comprehension. She scored in the 57th percentile. Oral expression was the 78th percentile, which is great, as well as listening comprehension, which was the 72nd percentile. These, to me, are not surprising, as far as I can tell that she has a great ability to express herself orally and interacts well with peers as well as teachers. She definitely is able to do that effectively. Some areas that will need improvement were in reading fluency, which she scored in the 20th percentile, math calculation, the 19th percentile, math fluency, the 9th percentile, and that math fluency is just her ability to add, subtract, multiply, things like that. And her written expression was the 22nd percentile, so just how she's able to write. And a lot of that comes in spelling as well as just grammatical awareness and just her ability to write. A lot of the times her writing will be jumbled, just kind of like how she talks, because she gets so excited and she wants to say so much, and that's kind of how her writing can tend to be. So we'll just continue to work on those areas moving forward. I saw a lot of decoding issues when I was performing this test. When it came to pseudo words, so words that aren't real, if they began with a letter that she's familiar with and then had letters throughout that seemed like another word, she would input her own word there, so a word that she was familiar with. So continuing to work on decoding skills, so what sounds letters make, patterns, digraphs, so a P and an H safe, things like that. Continuing to work on that will definitely be somewhere we will want to start, and just a lot of foundational skills. So decoding is definitely a foundational skill of reading and writing. The math calculation and math fluency definitely are foundational skills. So here at the junior high and on into high school, we just want to make sure that we're able to continue to work on those things. I also did the Wechsler's individual achievement test. I saw the same sort of things, so basic reading, word reading, pseudo word reading were all under the 20th percentile, and then numerical operations, math fluency, which included subtraction and multiplication, were all under the 20th percentile as well. Throughout that test, I saw her use multiplication. She would calculate multiplication problems using simple addition. So if the problem was 6 times 4, she would do 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, which is really tiring, and I saw that throughout my test. It was a 90-minute test, and I saw her just get really tired, and I can imagine it's exhausting to continue to work like that. So that's why we want to build those skills in math. That's why we want to continue to work on those things, just so she's not exhausted. We want to help her do the best that she can, as quickly as she can. Then we have written expression and spelling, which were both under the 20th percentile as well. Her oral language and oral word fluency were both extremely high, 66th percentile for oral language, so just how she's able to express herself, and the words that she uses are not basic. Obviously, she has a complex vocabulary, and that showed in her oral language. And then oral word fluency, she's just able to create sentences that make sense, and she's able to express stories verbally more effectively than she is writing, even though she can get off topic at times. So that's a little bit what I saw there. I saw the same decoding issues. She fails to look at the whole word. We see that a lot where a student will see a beginning letter sound and then just continue on with whatever word maybe would make sense there, even if it's incorrect. So just continuing to work on those decoding skills is something I think we will want to do. And as she moves into upper middle school and then on into high school, we want to make sure those decoding skills and breaking down words improves, just so in science class, when she comes across a new word, or in English, when there are new words and new vocabulary introduced, we want to make sure that she has the skills in order to break down those words effectively. So looking at all this information and the tests that I have and her test scores and her assessments and just getting to know her, I would say that there is a significant learning disability. Her error profile leads me to believe that she matches with a student with dyslexia, which is important for us just to know as far as accommodations and how we can most effectively continue to help her. I believe that she should be receiving support in reading, math, and writing just to help build those foundational skills. I think that would be really effective moving forward. We want to build those skills for her so she is able to do things independently and very effectively. Socially, I think the implications of her disability are limited. She has high self-confidence, I noted. She's able to express herself really effectively. And I think it is a great strength of hers, her ability to orally express herself. And so those oral presentations continue to encourage her when given the opportunity to present something orally. She's very strong in that aspect of school. And so let's continue to encourage her to use that to her advantage. We want her to present things orally. That's something that she's really good at. I also think as long as, we continue to support her at home and continue just to help build her confidence so she doesn't feel like her learning disability is something to be embarrassed about, because it's not. And her accommodations will be something that can be put in place in classrooms. I think we can work with a special education teacher to ensure that it's not drawing attention to her more so. So we'll just continue to think about ways to do that, to provide her most appropriate education in what setting. Functionally, I think her disability affects her, again, just not greatly in this aspect. I think that she will be able to graduate on time. She's told me she has goals of going to college, which I think can be met. We need to encourage her to use her resources, so use things like calculators when given that option, so she doesn't have to break math problems down into smaller pieces. Continuing to use her resources, like when she goes to college, the writing center is always a great resource. Things like that can be really helpful for a student with a learning disability, a significant learning disability, especially dyslexia. So we can continue to help encourage her to build those skills. And I've seen a lot too in just her test results, as far as her reading comprehension and reading fluency. She is able to compensate well, so we just need to ensure that she has these foundational skills so she doesn't have to compensate and work as hard. So it's my recommendation moving forward that we look at an IEP for a significant learning disability, and those accommodations that may come with that. The special education teacher can explain to you those a little bit more. I think that's all. So that's all I have as far as her test results and what that means for her moving forward. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to get a hold of me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.